Hi, this is Bruce Long with a game recorded from the Pokemon Trading Card Game online. I'm playing Klinklang, and as you can see from my starting hand, I have just about the worst possible starting hand imaginable. I start with a Cobalion, which some people pronounce various other ways, but I prefer the pronunciation Cobalion. In my hand, I have three Klinklangs, a Clang, two rare candy, all of which is totally worthless to start with. My opponent starts with a Sableye, has a Darkrai on the bench. He does a computer search, plays a Juniper and a Veerbank Gym. Fortunately, he has no energy to start with. I attach an energy, do Righteous Edge to attack for 30, and it's his turn. He attaches an energy to Sableye, plays a Crushing Hammer, which fails, another Crushing Hammer, which also fails, a little bit of luck for me, plays Skyla to get a Hypnotoxic Laser, and plays the Hypnotoxic Laser. It doesn't put me to sleep, but now I'm poisoned, taking 30 damage per turn. He does Junk Hunt to get back Computer Search and the Hypnotoxic Laser. So unless I get something going for pretty quick, that poison's going to kill me in just a few turns. I still have nothing. So all I can do is Righteous Edge again and take another 30 damage. His Sableye now has 60 damage on it. He plays Computer Search. Plays the Hypnotoxic Laser again just to try to put me to sleep, which he does, and plays Professor Juniper. Gets a new hand. He plays a Dark Patch, attaches a Darkness Energy to Darkrai on the bench, attaches a Dark Claw to Sableye, and attacks for 30. I stay asleep, so one more turn, and that Cobalion is going to be knocked out. I do draw a regular Cobalion, and I play Switch, so at least that keeps the CobalionEX alive for the moment, but I have no energy, nothing I can do but pass. My hand looks very bad. He attaches a Dark Claw to Darkrai, plays a Hypnotoxic Laser, attaches an energy to Darkrai, and plays N. Thank you for playing N and giving me a chance to get back in this game. Evidently, he was frustrated because he didn't have enough. He wasn't able to get his Darkrai attacking yet, which he wanted desperately to start doing. But all he does is Junk Hunt for a laser and an energy switch. Now I've got a halfway decent hand here. I bench a CobalionEX and a Klink. I attach an energy to the CobalionEX and play N. The N brings me an Ultra Ball and a rare candy, so I have to choose, do I Ultra Ball for a second Klink, or do I wait a turn, hoping that the Klink will stay alive? That's what I decide to do, and I just pass, hoping that the Klink will survive one turn, and then I can Ultra Ball for the Klinklang, use the rare candy, and that will set up the solid defense against Darkrai. But of course that one doesn't work. He plays Skyla for a Pokemon Catcher, brings Darkrai up to the active position, catchers up my Klink, and knocks it out. And also does 30 more damage to the CobalionEX, so one more hit from the Darkrai, and that CobalionEX is also going to be gone. I bring up the CobalionEX with no damage, play Ultra Ball, discarding a Colress and a Metal Energy to get a Klink. I bench the Klink. I'd love to play Juniper right now, but I don't really dare to throw those two rare candies away, so I play Colress instead, which only gets me 5 cards, and nothing good that I can use right now, so all I can do is attack for 30 with the CobalionEX. He attaches an energy to his bench Darkrai, plays an Ultra Ball, gets nothing with the Ultra Ball, looks like he's just clearing his hand, plays the Laser, Max Potion, off of his Sableye to keep his Sableye going, and plays Bianca to draw 6. Plays a Dark Patch for another energy on his Darkrai. And of course I'm hoping that he doesn't have a catcher to knock out my little Klink. And it looks like he doesn't. He hits the active Cobalion and hits the Klink on the bench for 30. So my little Klink is still alive for this turn. And I just drew a rare candy, so I could evolve into Klinklang, but for some strange reason I don't see this. So I play an Escape Rope to stop the poison on the active, bring up the CobalionEX, and play N. That's one thing I don't like about the game. Sometimes it's hard to tell what card was just drawn. But fortunately I get another rare candy, another Klinklang, so I evolve into Klinklang, and now Darkrai cannot hurt me. And I do Righteous Edge for 30 onto the Sableye. He plays Catcher to catcher up the Klinklang, puts an energy onto Sableye, and does Junk Hunt to get back the laser and the catcher. So it's clear what his strategy is going to be. He's going to try to knock out the Klinklang through poison. I play N. The new hand does have an Ultra Ball, but I don't really want to throw those things away. Throw away the other cards. I have a Super Rod, but looking at the discard pile, I didn't see there wasn't enough in there to justify use of the Super Rod at this point. So I go ahead and I bench the CobalionEX, play Escape Rope. He brings up Darkrai. With the Eviolite, I bring up one of the damaged CobalionEXs. And my Righteous Edge will only do 10 damage because of his Eviolite. He attaches an energy to the other Sableye, attaches an Eviolite, and plays N, which I am very grateful for because I could sure use a new hand at this point. And this new hand looks very nice. He retreats for Sableye, catchers up my Klinklang, plays the laser, which does not put me to sleep, and does Junk Hunt for the catcher and the laser. So he obviously is going to keep doing that over and over. I play a Heavy Ball, look through my deck, and take a Klink. At this point, I kind of wish that he had knocked out one of those Cobalions so I could get 2 Klinks started. I bench the Klink, play a Heavy Ball, grab Registeel just because when I Juniper, I want to throw that away. I play Max Potion, clean the damage off one of the Cobalions, and play Juniper, discarding a Klang and a Klinklang. Looks pretty good. I get 2 rare candy, an Ultra Ball, another Klink. I attach one of the energies to Cobalion and end my turn. He plays a laser to poison the Klinklang and hits it for another 30 damage and confusion, and that Klinklang is now knocked out. I send up the Cobalion, attach an energy to the CobalionEX that's active, bench a Klink, play Ultra Ball, discarding 1 rare candy and the Pokemon Catcher to get another Klinklang. Play the rare candy and evolve that Klink into Klinklang. Play a Skyla, naturally, to get a Juniper. And then I'll be ready to go on my next turn and hopefully start doing 100 damage. So I do Righteous Edge for 30, which puts 60 on the Sableye, and one more hit would knock it out. He plays a catcher, and catchers up the damage to CobalionEX instead of the Klinklang, poisoning it, putting it to sleep, obviously hoping to knock it out in another turn, if not this one, using Junk Hunt to get back a max potion and the laser. I draw an energy, attach an energy to the CobalionEX that I'm powering up, and play my Juniper. There is nothing I can do to save the poisoned Cobalion in the active position, so I simply end my turn, and that will knock it out. So I bring up the new CobalionEX with no damage, fully powered up, and ready to do some serious business. He retreats his damaged Sableye to bring up the one with no damage, and the Eviolite catchers up my Klinklang and does Junk Hunt to get the catcher and the laser. So he's going to try the old strategy again. I play Heavy Ball to get the other Klinklang, so that this way I won't have to keep retreating the active one and will be able to attack with it. I evolve the Klink into the Klinklang with the Shift Gear ability. I play Skyla and get Super Rod. Because my deck is getting quite low, I'm very worried about decking out now. So I just decided to grab 3 energy, which is shuffled back into the deck. I attach an energy to Klinklang and use the Shift Gear to move 2 of the other energy over to Klinklang so that I can start knocking out those little Sableyes. Unfortunately, with the Eviolite, it will stay alive if I just hit it. So I go ahead and catcher up the other one to finish it off first. And I use the Heavy Bullet attack, which flips tails. And so I knock out that Sableye, he brings up the other one. And I finally take my first prize. It's kind of late in the game, so I've got a lot of catching up to do pretty quickly. He plays a laser to poison me and puts me to sleep, unfortunately. And he just attacks for 10. The confusion failed, unfortunately, because confusion would have been much better than asleep, and I stayed asleep. So I attach an energy to Cobalion. I can either play in or Skyla. I look at Skyla. I've got a switch and a scramble switch, either of which could be used. So I just decide to play the switch, to grab the switch and play it. And then I use Shift Gear to move one of the energies over to Cobalion, and then I can knock out the Sableye with one attack. I have an N in my hand, so logically I should try to keep from playing that N until I've drawn my very last card. He makes Darkrai active. He catchers Klinklang up yet once again. And then he plays the Hypnotic Laser to put me to sleep once more. Asleep and poisoned, and I do not wake up. So now this is bad. I can't just let my Klinklang sit there and slowly be poisoned. There is a scramble switch left in the deck, and only 4 cards left in the deck, so I feel I have no choice. I didn't want to play in this soon, but I go ahead and play in to try to get the scramble switch. Fortunately, I do get it, play it, and bring up the Cobalion with 1 energy, switch the other 2 energy over, and do Steel Bullet for 100. He simply passes. I attach an energy to the plain Cobalion, attack, and do Steel Bullet for 100 again to knock out the Darkrai. So I take 2 prizes, and if I can knock out that last Darkrai, which I'm very hopeful since I have a catcher, I've only got 2 cards left in my deck, but 2 turns should do it. He passes once again. So I attack, do Steel Bullet for 100. And maybe in one more turn I can win, but no, he plays Max Potion to wipe all the damage off his Darkrai. I draw my last card, and that is the end. All I can do is hit him for 100 once again, and at that point all he has to do is end his turn. And the game is over. But I came close, and with such a bad start, I feel that I'm pretty fortunate to have been able to come back as good as I did. Goodbye for now. See you next time.